actually one of these Tech 9s that's making a bit of noise, but Serendipity may have to finish with a triple. Clipsera dancing with the bomb on the back, and too many fights to take. Meets the opposite IGL, and there is Supernova Comets who take the lead in the first half.
No clip for Clipsera there, as he falls short after only getting one, and it will be, a great recovery from Supernova Comets. They were the ones down by quite a large margin. They've got 5 in a row now. They finally have a lead under their belts. Heading into round number 12, Aether just trying to tie things up here. AKs are back. 4 of them with a Galil. Util's strong as well. This is their chance to at least get back to their winning ways. Fox waiting with the AWP towards long. Smoke's going to get tossed, and the Empathy will get only one. Nice trades from Tender and Clipsera towards long. They gain the control, throw the smoke for CT, and they're barreling down towards this A site.
A very aggressive look, and still with the nades in their pockets. I mean, the smoke that far, you are not going to have the decision to turn this around now. A triple to finish out the half, and you are at least going to roll up to a 6-6. Aether came to play today. It was a one-sided affair in our first best of 3. That's not what you're getting here in the second.
At least not in the first half. That's the most competitive half of action we've actually had so far today, since those first 2 maps in the previous series were so one-sided in favor of Chicken Coop. But here, Supernova Comets, despite looking a little flat in the opening rounds, did catch up to Aether.
Micro playing a really good game right now. I think it's, adding a guy back. Misha was probably very hungry to play. Probably a guy that never, actually stopped playing. Active in the pugs, I would assume. Active within the scene. Is a guy that knows a lot of these players well. I mean, has played, I believe, at least 3 of these last Philadelphia lands in the past year out here with the core of whatever you want to call them, Alter Iron, Super Evil Gang, like we just had Lycus Empire. They've had numerous aliases, as we get 30 seconds to talk about it before the half starts.
Yeah, they've gone by quite a few names, and also they've had quite a few rosters, different rosters, different names on their roster in terms of players, right? So,
yes, Soulgoat and the boys used to be under this tag.
Yeah, exactly. That Soulgoat is he's a mainstay.
He is.
In North
we
America.
love him.
We do. We do.
Still playing with Atomic, I bet. I don't want them ever to break up. Much like MDS and Gabe. This is a duo you need to stick with.
All right, currently, here we go. Second. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the core of this Impact, Serendipity, XTX, and Raven, been together since August 2024. And that's where their HLTV history starts for 2 of those players. So, tracked along well in this past year, John.
Yeah, done a lot throughout Impact as well. Oh, okay, a little bit of a messy score sheet there, but it will be Arius Tender, and Tender again with 3 frags, and Tender, he wants to get more frags up on the board, gets the 3K here. Empathy, the last one standing, and another pretty convincing pistol round from Aether, unless Empathy has something to say about it, and she won't. Micro, headshot, and Aether win the round to get the lead back.
Triple out of Tender. A name we didn't have to speak a whole lot of in the first half, because it was multiple names of Aether getting involved. It was quietly involved, and now reaches up to 10 frags right at the start and has a very good respect about it. This is a guy that, I mean, played under a lot of names under his time. Is a dude that, was very active when I started getting involved in the scene, going to Fragadelphia's in 2021, worn a lot of jerseys, similar story to Micro.
There goes the nades. They're trying to charge up our Supernova Comets towards Cat, but Tender will get to one with the Molotov, one with the rifle, and then Micro will pitch in for a couple from the SMG, so that gives him $1,200 in his account. Empathy connects on one, but likely only one here. Maybe a second. Okay, Empathy, but we'll run out of bullets in time, as Arius will close the gap and take care of the rest. Aether up to 8.
Yeah, and they really get off to a great jog beginning of this half. Empathy can pat herself on the back getting a couple of those kills, but this is the real deal. Guns are out right now, and to buy back for Supernova Comets, where, I mean, put up a very good 6-6 right at that bound. Got to bring it back to that consistent back and forth. It's important for Supernova to have that response. Don't get shut out in that first gun round. It can just kind of throw your momentum out of it. Here's going to be an immediate push out to upper, just construed by Micro and Co, who are just going to be right behind Raven and Empathy into lower.
Oh, this is so dangerous for Supernova Comets. They're not watching for the lower push, so it's probably a freebie for Micro unless Raven can get away in time, and does, but the information's there. STS could save the day, and she does, at least for one. Will stop Arius and Micro, fragging Micro, and then pushing Arius back until Raven come and support. So that's actually a good outcome for Supernova Comets, even though it looked a little scary when it was developing.
Fox looking like potentially to set up with Serendipity here, actually just setting up a bit of utility in middle. And I will join back. 45 seconds on the wristwatch. And with a trio meeting up at Catwalk, Serendipity is going to have to reach and be real effective as a lurk right here to go. It all depends on the timing. Misha going to be just prompted up at the blue box, but Tender just had a triple in that pistol. Fighting at long, put out with nothing here. What a start into this A site. And I even have to wonder if there's even going to be the attempt here from Clipsera. Pack that AK away, the M4 rather.
Yeah, he's just going to save the M4. They've got enough money to buy up in the next round, especially if the M4 is saved, so that's exactly what they're going to do here. This bonus round or semi-bonus round doesn't really go their way. Good job from the Supernova Comets to fight against the adversity they were facing towards mid. Fragging out both players and then losing one in the process. Now Clipsera, hearing the footsteps, a chance to make a little bit more money for his squad. There's $50 more in the bank account, so a $100 bonus being gained thanks to the frags they've gotten in the round, and now Clipsera will be happy with an AK instead of an M4.
Talking about that important timing. Supernova cash in and keep Aether on the clip right now. It's going to be an expensive buyback and one that is not really going to be up to much decision. It's going to be really out here for it to likely be made, but I was kind of expecting them to really have no choice but to sort of buy back in this and get as much as they can. It's going to be, you know, even on the fringes of a half buy and more of on the, like, save. They're really not spending a lot right now. Where's your gun, Tender? He got one. It was missing for a moment.
It's back. He's fine.
I'm nitpicking.
It's fine. Clipsera waiting with the AK that he saved over from that previous round. Surprised to see them not going for it here, but at the same time, I guess they want a full and proper buy-up instead of working with bits and pieces of utility. Tender waiting here with the 5.7 on Cat, which can be very potent if you play it right. Supernova Comets are really burning a lot of time off the clock. They do try to engage with Misha there. A couple of shots go wide. Misha knows Clipsera's there. He's going to try and support Clipsera, but it doesn't even need to happen, actually. Clipsera's going to get a freebie, and then Empathy goes right on back with two of her own, and it will be a 4v3, and just the pistols left for Aether.
And Micro's still hanging around, but it's NACS. Got a bit of a North American Molotov coming out. 5.7 still around. These are a threat to be taken seriously. Micro finds STX through the smoke and continues to add to a really good individual dust too. There's 30 seconds here and always an opportunity to disrupt on the plant. Micro trying to be seen, but a flank from CT will take care of things. Back to 8-all.
Tied up again. So our predictions that it will be a close match appear to be correct this time.
Woohoo.
Yay. Aether and Supernova Comets going toe-to-toe here, as Aether will be bringing the guns back into this round, though. Micro on the AWP. 3 A1Ss and a FAMAS to round out the bye. Supernova Comets not wasting any time going out this time. They take the long control quickly, but Aether aren't challenging for it. They're waiting back towards the A site for engagements to come their way. Clipsera sees the Molotov going through, which could indicate that a push is already materialized here for the Supernova Comets, and it likely will. But they're backing off here, which makes me think this could just be a fake.
Yeah, it seemed like they were ultra committed to this, but find a standstill. Here goes ahead, kind of poking around. It's the AWP, potentially one that Empathy can kind of really just upset here and find an opening frag, keep it tapping away, and that's a very swift and stylish kill from Micro, and at a certain point, that's just going to be at a great stance for them. Empathy can no longer buy time at the long position, and they can just get in with these rotations. 55 seconds, and they're going to be reading this at A. At a certain point, it's going to be so close, and Clipsera, the next member that can respond, it's a refresh on that smoke that essentially means everything. Supernova Comets are going to have to address this as quick as it comes up. They're going to be just surfing through this in the A1S. It should just farm, but there's so much damage here done to the IGL. Survives long enough, just clipped on the spam.
They're trying to stick this bomb down to Dirt. Fox defending Serendipity, but she falls. Now Serendipity manages to make it a 1v1. She fakes the plant, hoping that Tender will aggress. And he is. Serendipity still watching for it, but Tender gains the edge and will not lose it. Aether get back on the W's in terms of the rounds. 9-8 in their favor.
Yeah, that was really looking up, but it's a even, I mean, the little attempts, they all add up, get that spam back to STX, and that was already going to be looking up for Aether kind of either way, but Supernova Comets recover with, you know, really good action in the meantime, trying to execute back to B. It's, I mean, biting, it's consistently back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And Fox is just going to be snapping Misha out of the round immediately.
That's a ridiculous opener to find for the Supernova Comets. Now they're looking to work the route long again. There is a player here. It's Tender, and he can't do anything. Beautiful flashbang thrown by STX. Serendipity and the rest of Supernova Comets now flooding out of the gates of Long A. Micro's got the op, but doesn't have much visibility. The smoke has flooded in again, so these players are going to be able to slip on through under his scope, and they are finding every single Aether member that lies in their way. No frags for Aether in this round, and that's probably how it's going to end.
Looking down on the A site, and it's one FAMAS versus the world. And this Dust 2 is really a very good point to, I think, bring out kind of the highlights of either unit. I think it shows sort of the best of a lot. And to be honest with you, you know, addressing some of the last minute changes for Aether here, even if they are losing their IGL, I don't think I'm giving them, you know, much less of a chance about it than I think I would regularly. I think this is a team that, you know, brings back a guy that they're, you know, very familiar with. I think it was, you know, pretty soon into Juna being brought in on this calling duty for, you know, the secondary caller of it to be Micro, who is, you know, hanging around for some time before it. I mean, Micro, a guy that was hanging out, you know, I think pretty substantially a part of that, like, you know, Cryptic core who went through what, like, Wild Card and then Kari Eastwards, like plenty of names, John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the history.
Many histories. As Fox is trying to make history here with a nice shot on towards Aether and potentially leading to a map victory. They would love to pull off a series win here at Thunderpick.
back out to long. And it's going to be 4
They-
players here for Aether. This is going to be a really hard bargain. It was just Supernova Comets who, on their last go about it, backed out to the B site when they did get this hard press. But even it was way less in that decision to make it go about before. But do have Raven posted up, waiting for a little bit of a push up top. Is Micro caught off guard, and maybe even sensing into the stack. They're just gonna have to fight it now. So far forward to this, so far committed. Empathy burning out Micro right here. It's gonna be a couple of A2 players that see their bodies in through the smoke right now, but they are just swept up. Tender up top can try and just dot a couple of headshots, but it is just not happening. Supernova Comets, they've gotten off to a really good rhythm, John. They're the first team that finds double digits here on this dust too.
Yeah, it's a surprising force buy that Aether decided to call there. I know that some players, or a couple of them, saved a little bit of money, but that was weird. You could have just gone for the eco in that situation, and maybe they're getting a little tilted. I'm not sure. 10th round going to be picked up by the Supernova Comets. And to note, I think we may have already mentioned this, but Supernova Comets outside of Impact have not won an official, right? They've gotten close. They've had some really good series, but haven't won an official yet. So it would be quite something if they can come up with the win here up against Aether. And Tender charges up mid and wins the duel with the USP. This is absolute pandemonium. Here's the eco, and it could be a round victory for Aether. 2v1. Raven with the AK does get one. Clipsera won't get it as either. Raven does save the day and prevents the eco from coming through and striking for a round victory.
The amount of emotions I just went through in the last 19 seconds watching that run down. I feel this way for Aether and what you just said, man. And what you was so true. They're probably so frustrated about how this game has gone, so back and forth with how well it kind of went forward, kind of right off the bat at both halves. That's one that burns so bright and they can taste it practically, and it's now faded away. It's a group of guns that they're going to have that they're really going to need to make the most of, because it's the difference between Supernova and 12.
That's a nice string of flashbangs that's tossed forward there by Micro to support Tender's peak, and nothing Raven could do in that situation. Tried to go out and take a fight, but a flashbang was there to greet her immediately. Empathy. Moving up Cat, the tip of the spear. Micro waiting on the other side with the AWP. If Micro gets one cleanly I should say, and doesn't get traded, then Aether will be looking very nice indeed in this round. But Micro falls back. He actually just wants to throw that nade really deep in, and does connect onto Serendipity to get her down to 39 HP, and then holds the angle with the op. I think it's still the same case, though. If he gets one here, it'll be very difficult for the Supernova Comets to get back into this round.
Tough,
there's the one.
Just so well read. After that utility drop before, he's just going to have to hold so kind on this. They're still going to be on this adamant style of A. Got to wait for something to drop from SCX likely. 40 seconds left, and there isn't a ton of time to work with this. I spoke earlier about Empathy used to be an offer herself, so got to see how this is going to work out now in the 2 versus 5. Serendipity and Empathy going to make the most of this. She gets rid of the scope. Serendipity was up in the clutch. In B was denied. This is asking a lot more than just a 1v2 right here with 19 seconds. There might be an attempt just to save the op.
Yeah, I think the problem for her is that time could run out, and they could go chasing after time to try and deny her from getting any loss bonus, which won't be a big deal because she'll still be able to buy regardless. Okay, goes down before time so it doesn't become a conversation. No op save through. All the frags go the way of Aether, and they are back into it with a 10th round.
They get their hands on a double AWP. Now that will really be exciting for this group. Saw them bring that out a couple of times when I got to watch them out versus Party Astronauts under the Super Evil Gang tag. I know that's literally back in February, but I mean, they really had a good look. That was the first edition of the Party Astronauts, getting out, from the drama of the winter and, where that came down. And those map wins were actually the very first for Super Evil Gang in that Challenger League season. It was a Dust 2 and then an Ancient.
Who was running the other op in that case? Because Micro wasn't with them, right?
I believe, Flo was an op IGL. And so then this other op was in the hands of Clipsera. I should have brought that up and during top IGL conversation earlier. Flipsera not needing the full vision, gonna get one just docked, but Raven took a lot of damage right here, so Tender on this corner may just line them up and does a huge triple on long, shutting down the Comets, and they're gonna be on a Nico after this.
And they are. Nice headshot from Misha. Great shutdown on the side of Tender, and now things are tied up again. We're going the distance, the full 24 rounds. Supernova Comets have been here before, usually on the losing end.
Yeah.
But they want to change that story here.
Yeah, look, and you know, John, that's a conversation that I've had with, you know, a couple, I was going to say pundits, a couple of other casters, you know, that we, you know, have on the show. And it's one where, you know, I bring up the inexperience before and, you know, seeing these players get more and more experience, mainly Serendipity and Raven and, you know, this entire group, right? They played at like 4 LANs this year. And at those LANs, I mean, they had some really ridiculous games on LAN versus teams like the Game Hunters who, you know, came over internationally in 3-map affairs, but they weren't able to close out any of those games, unfortunately. And so, you know, burning very, very close to that right here, it's going to be Supernova Comets that, you know, even in the initial conversation that we had in the pregame, John, I think that they're going to be, if not one of the, you know, more favored teams out here, you know, in some days. I don't know if I can put them over Chicken Coop. Absolutely not after that performance. But I mean, they should be the second team out of this group for everything that they've done in the last couple of months. It's just sort of, you know, putting out these other teams that they're so familiar with online.
We'll see if that turns out to be the case. Micro gonna get overloaded here by Serendipity's Tech 9, although Tender will only get one, in fact. Trades are good here for Supernova Comets until the nades come raining on in. Clipzera connects onto Fox, and there could be another one. Here it is, indeed. 2 nade frags for Clipzera, and then the last will be Misha with the A1S to finish things off, but Clipzera just picking up nade after nade and tossing them for frags.
A very good look. Sarah and the crew will be the first to push their map pick to the point. All 24, like you said, in a point at which we can get more than we originally bargained for. Overtime would be a good time. But John, I'm a biased caster. I want to see some Overpass today, baby. Let's see 3.
Oh, yeah. I really want to see Overpass as well, to be honest with you, Mark. It's been such a long time since I've casted a map of Overpass. When it left the pool, it left as one of my favorite maps to cast. It's just so interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect it to happen. Just like I didn't expect Anubis to be gone this time, but here we are, right? Anyway, look, it's going to be exciting. I love Overpass. I don't mind that they reintroduced that. It's just, I think that Mirage perhaps could have been the map out of the pool. Or even Dust 2. I love Dust 2, though. Like, it has a special place in my heart. But I would understand if they replaced Dust 2 with another map. Anyway, look, let's go back to the action here. Misha and Arius charging in. Oh, no! You missed the shot! Arius, what's happening? How do you miss that? That's the round.
Disaster. And they're going to be looping this to Beast. They're not even going to have a chance. God. We're going to overtime, John, and what a fumble of the bag right there. They feel it in their hands, and it's ripped out. 24 goes the distance.
They had so much...
Like, if we're going to riff to the politics of the map pool, I thought it may have been Inferno out. There's just, like, something that's not feeling too great about this Inferno. I think Anubis was seeing into being a bit too T-sided, I think, for Valve's liking. I know there's, like, been some conversation about getting some adjustments here or there. Last frag is in through Fox. We're going to be pushing into an overtime 1 at a bare minimum, which is going to be great for this Dust 2. The Comets are not done yet. But, you know, to be honest with you, like I just said, I think we're both a fan of the map, you know, individually, but I think I like the way that it faces into the pool. You know, at a great retrospect, it, you know, puts a tactical foot forward first, and I think that's the most important.
Yeah, no question. But I agree with you on Inferno, though. I feel like something's off about it right now. It's a fun map
and
when it goes to overtime. Yeah. But the thing is, when Inferno goes to OT, it's great because there's less saving and you can actually watch some really fun rounds.
Yes.
But when it's regulation, you're like, oh, okay, well, the CT's lost A site and now they have 3 alive, but it's 4 on the other side and they don't have the util, so they save on B and save on B.
That's
and
a good
save
question.
On, you know. So
I wonder if maybe with this change a bit, I mean, maybe it's an economy problem, maybe not an Inferno problem. I think
Yeah.
there are Inferno problems, don't get me wrong, but
No, there are, yeah.
that could be interesting to watch and see how preference might change or two. It's common between a lot of these groups, especially in the North American space. I remember when it was like RMR time, we were one of the first groups to really like busted it out a lot. MRQ, excuse me.
Yes.
I speak where my heart wants it to go, Ronnie. I want an RMR land.
Well, your heart wanted OT as well, and here we are.
It did.
Micro is going to get that opening frag. Here comes Supernova Comets trying to get into the B site. They do get one, but it's an even trade, so still man advantage in favor of Aether, and that's just going to get better here as Misha pops off for a couple. Serendipity falls as well to Micro's op, and Aether will win the first round of overtime.
Yeah, they've learned a thing or two on this B site before, and now with, I mean, literally nothing to limit them economically, it's going to be a very hard press for exactly how they want to draw it up. They can do no worse on that B lane. It's going to be great. They're going to be toting up another double op right now. Micro and Clipsera are going to be facing towards A. I got to imagine one of them's going to be seeing up towards Cap. Micro up that ladder himself.
Box opener here on to Misha. There's the nade in, and it does so much damage. That will help immensely.
Oh
Look at the
my God,
return! Arius is barely alive here. A Molotov hits his face and a nade as well. And now the op bullet will do him in. Clipsera tries to regain the space and will, but it's already a two-man edge here for Supernova Comets.
Walking this down, they'll have to answer to Tender if anybody else alongside Micro, who has swapped back to the rifle. They have the coverage to get this down. That may go a little bit further and not open up the smoke exactly how they imagined it. But I got a full minute to tick down on this line, and Micro has found this way in the last couple of seconds to A. I love
Tender?
this play by Tender.
I do too, but it's risky. He's waiting in the smoke for it to fade. He can do so much damage as a player top mid, though. He's gonna get 1, 2, 3. Oh, not the fourth, though. Finally, STX activates, but that may have been too late. 43 seconds left on the clock. That is insane from Tender. We saw it materialize, and we're like, okay, this looks good. And it wasn't just good, it was great. Clipsera, along with Micro, both opping. They're waiting, watching different angles. Micro watching long and Cat. And you have Clipsera outside of B, which could still be good as long as he peers in for those tunnels and checks what's happening.
And Clipsera about to check back, has a Molotov. You have to run right through this. A quick scope. Clipsera with USP equipped. And it's Raven that's just going to get out with enough HP.
Man.
But Micro finds that through the door, long range, and it is going to be 14. These closer rounds seem to go the way of Aether every time. Take into the experience of Micro and Tender, and they are never going to fumble in those situations.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I mean, we can't forget that Tender's the reason why it's so interesting towards the tail end, because he pushes into mid, goes into the smoke, waits for the opportunity, and then there was STX top mid, so you think, okay, if she peeks at the right time, this will turn into nothing, but she doesn't. And Tender gets 3 for free because no one is watching there towards mid at all. Now Micro, an opener onto Fox. He wins the op v op duel, and a 5v4 immediately for Aether, who are trying to sweep this first half of overtime.
Gotta walk this way without their opera now. Not a whole lot of weather, though. Completely clear. Not a cloud in sight this long stay, but all the way up to the site. Now that's going to be another call. They've gotten this far, and they got to get past Micro. Seeing one faltering right into the pit. It's still going to be that op in the hands of Empathy. Really got to give that the respect it deserves. In this time, they have been really respected with how much they have just been allowed here, JRT. So they are going to be so close to the smoke, not wasting a moment.
Oh,
Quick scope
wow.
in from Micro. And look at the shots they're just hitting right now. This is Aether in great coordination. A confident look back by the Comets. They need to respond for this, but it is Tender who jumps all the way up. Back-to-back triples, and Tender is taking care of the Comets right now.
Tender is feeling himself, honestly. Another 3K, 27 frags on the board, leads the entire server in that, and I believe ADR as well. Like, he is flying high. 15 to 12 in favor of Aether. There's that clean sweep on the first half of OT, and now they only need one more round to secure this map and send us to Mirage. Reminder, this is Aether's map pick, as you can see in the top left, and then the map pick of Supernova Comets will be coming through next.
Going to be pretty familiar. It's going to be a Mirage, one that they see into when things get uncomfortable. It's always one that they're able to, find their identity in. I know that Dust 2, as I pitched up, to be quite familiar to them. Supernova Comets have played a good game here, but that is the Supernova Comets map pick. Makes a lot of common ground. Saw that in some of their most important impact series, and otherwise it's always one that is up in the calendar and is one that is going to be a familiar sight all the way back. So there's plenty of tape out there for the, I was about to say super evil gang, for Aether to check out.
Super evil gang versus Supernova Comets. It would be appropriate, but that has changed. Misha in the lower tunnels, but doesn't have to do anything. Clipzera will take care of it. Continue to tap through the smoke. STX along with, I believe it's Fox, a bit at risk here. They have to be careful not to hang around too long in mid, but eventually Aether stop firing off the bullets, and Fox will return the favor onto Arius. 4v4 even numbers now. And it looks like Aether aren't sure where they want to go at this point. Looks like a couple of players are trying to get ready to go in towards long. Now they've backed off of it. And you still have one in upper tunnels and one towards mid. It feels like with the space they've gained with the player in the upper tunnels and into mid, a B hit, or at least going for more mid control at this stage, would be preferable to trying to take long where you have no information.
Yeah, I think B hit on the cards right now.
Yeah.
Clipzera and Micro headed that way. And Bisha has enough utility here to put up some sort of line in middle to cut off rotation. So this is a really good look at it for Aether if they want to throw the knockout punch here as soon as the smoke fades. Plenty of utility to do so. Got a very patient Raven and Fox waiting. This is one of the most deadly sight duos that Comets do have at their disposal. Running through that fire, Raven will make sure Tender is not freestanding and trying to wait for a lineup. They're not giving it to her. 20 seconds left. You've got to get past Fox, but a crucial miss, as right now the site is open, and it's mistakes like that that will welcome Aether to finish this Dust 2.
Yeah, could be over right there. It's going to take a heroic effort from either Serendipity, STX, or maybe both. STX, oh, the smoke is recycled for doors as well. Do they have a flash? They do. They have two flashes they can utilize to try and get in here. There's one tossed. STX goes through. So does Serendipity, and Serendipity's gone, and STX is not long to follow. That will do it. It is going to be Aether with a 16-12 win here, clean in OT.
Really good recovery for a team that is, hopping into this tournament with, excitement, an opportunity for a super evil gang squad that just got picked up by an organization that is now getting real tier 2 opportunities here into Thunderpick. But you lose your IGL, who you just picked up a couple of days ago, can't waltz with him into this event. It looks good. There is a next man up mentality here, and they do it well, even when things get shaky there. There are probably points at which you brought it up, they were getting frustrated, but I mean, they let themselves work it out, whether it was an eco victory or a tough call they had to make in the mid round. I think whoever it was that was speaking loudly on that side did it well for Aether.
Yeah, there was definitely frustrations. You saw it when it was 10-9 and they forced up. That was surprising. That was them, I'd say, tilting, because that force buy just didn't make sense economically, nor with the flow of the rounds. And they just decided to do it. It was 11-9 at that point. Then they talked things over, calmed things down, and really recomposed themselves effectively to push into overtime. In fact, they were the ones with the opportunity to close it out in regulation before Supernova Comets just wiped them out in round number 24. But then overtime looked good. I mean, once the guns were out consistently, Aether didn't make any mistakes. Everything was fairly clean, and we got the result that, well, they got the result that they were hoping for, and Supernova Comets fell short again, which I think on their side, Mark, has to be frustrating, because time and time again, they're getting so close to getting an important map victory, and then they fall short.
Yeah, I think that's going to start to sting for you. It's not going to be
Mm.
one that's kind of easy to work out. And I think that where it's a Supernova Comets team that, you know, through the times that they were Shimmer, I think these players have always kind of, you know, been the underdogs in North America, always kind of working with an expectation against them. And I think, you know, if this is the latest, then, you know, they're going to have a good head on them to try and work it out. They still are not out of this series. They got a Mirage up next, John, which I think I'm really hopeful for if we're to see this into a 3 for, you know, more than just us wanting to see an overpass. I think for, you know, the Comet squad to be able to actually get that there, I think, you know, it does say a lot about a team that, you know, is expected to walk onto their map and, you know, put out a victory to go ahead and do so, John, even after a shaky map number 1. We need to see those expectations met. And we will get to see in about 10 minutes time. We're going to be back with some more Thunderpick action then, so don't go far. Well, you're knocking at the door out of an overtime and opening it to an Aether 1-0 lead. They close out their map pick after Supernova Comets serve up a little bit more dust too, but they serve up a map pick of their own. They got a Mirage, John.
They do go to Mirage, and, you know, it's a map that they have been fairly strong on. We already kind of talked about it because, you know, it's one where they do find their success when they absolutely need it. The problem is on the other side for Aether, I shouldn't say the problem for Supernova Comets is that Aether also like playing here. In fact, they do pick onto it 40% of the time, so it's not something they'll be strangers to, although they lose to Tsunami 5-13. We'll see how it goes here. Pistol round is fantastic for the Supernova Comets, though. They get 3 immediately. The A-site defense has been wiped clean.
Really great moves out from STX, who continues to farm into CT, gets a double for her own right. And I think the motto here is going to be confidence for Supernova Comets, because if anything else, you're going to need momentum to carry you into a map that, I mean, I favor Aether in way more. There's players here that have been competing really hard since, like, 2020, like Empathy, STX, and Foxhall in that conversation. But if we're going for an Overpass that was once a part of our hearts, but is now being pushed back, it's going to be likely Tender and Micro and the boys that have way more experience in that case. But we got to get through the Mirage first.
I would say absolutely that's the case, given how long Overpass was part of the pool before it was removed, and surprisingly removed, honestly, because it was added at the beginning of CS2 as one of the flashier maps with all the water effects and everything that were over towards that B site. And then they're like, oh yeah, but no, we're done with Overpass. So it's just, it did need some adjustments, and I do like the changes they've made, especially the dice box towards the A site, opening that up and making it a lot more of a, I would say not easier, but the T's have a better chance of going in without having to worry about so many angles.
You know, in the day and age of all the aimers that we have here rocking about, like, I mean, I can't wait to see it, you know, open back up. I think I was listening to Talking Counter earlier this week, and I can cite from there. I believe they brought up that that's, like, you know, where the highest rating for CT riflers will come outside of that, you know, bathrooms position. So, like, get ready to see some donk, you know, rocking up in those spots. Who the heck knows what spots the Falcons are going to be filling with Kia Sakai or Nico? We're excited to see that. But obviously, oh, come on, man. Come on. You got to get a little bit closer for that. I'm blaming Tender there and not the Zeus. You had to get a little bit further up to make that happen, John. I would know. I'm a Zeus expert, okay?
I believe you. No, it's that was tough. He was definitely too far on that one, and could not connect with the Zeus, as Aether will lose that round. That was just a gamble round for them on the eco, though. Yeah. Stacking up the bodies towards the B side, it doesn't work out. Supernova Comets very aware there, and they will come out with a second round victory. But yeah, Supernova Comets 5-1 on Mirage, although most of their wins were at Impact. They did have a win at Fragadelphia, Las Vegas against Game Hunter. I think you might have talked about that one already. And here, against the Rifles, they are just farming. Tender, Clip, and Misha tried to go aggressive there into the ramp, and they got absolutely erased.
Yeah, that's so good from Empathy right there. Surviving at 18 health. And it is with the positioning that if Micro and Co are forced to kind of give this a good respect.
I don't know what Micro and Arius are doing right now. They need to get out of here. They need to save these guns. There's no reason to fight. Maybe they're trying to bottle Supernova Comets into the site, but that's not even worth it. You see Arius get connected on for a bit of damage from the SMG. And eventually dies because he hung around too long. Serendipity will take care of that. A free upgrade for her. Yeah, it's just no reason to be that aggressive, honestly, on the save. Micro could die too. Ooh, Micro. No, he's good. He's good.
Move up to 3-0. And as we were talking before, John,
yep.
To be honest, it's, you know, a great look up for Supernova Comets. You know, we're seeing out of, you know, talking of the, you know, results in May, beginning of June, where, you know, Dallas was getting off to, that was their second place. It's, you know, the next Impact season that they're automatically qualified for, I would hope.
Yeah.
after a result like that. But also, they were, as we mentioned, invited to the first Challenger League Cup here in August. So that's going to be something to watch out for all the Comets fans.
So this map starting off absolutely dreamily for the Supernova Comets. Continue to run through this Aether squad, and Aether only have one frag. That is from Tender. Outside of that, nothing doing. And I don't know if it will change into this round. Arius just hiding with the Deagle and the armor. Armor's kind of valuable. Might want to save that into the next round. But frags could be important too.
Empathy smells blood.
She'll find it.
Insane start. Empathy just a casual 11-0. And this is what Supergirl is known for. She's been putting up stats like this for a whole hell of a long time, John. I don't know if you tuned in to the very beginning of that series in versus Furia, but it was so stupid, her scoreline. It was 35-10 in her first Intel Extreme Masters stage game in front of a crowd.
That's absurd. Absolutely crazy. She's trying to do it again here. Not in front of a crowd, though. Micro's going to get the opener over on Fox. At least not in front of a crowd yet. Misha. Nade toss towards that smoke. And STX and Empathy are going to fall back off of that ramp hit, at least for the time being. They throw the bomb down on the ground. Supernova Comets going for a full reset here.
Lost Fox early. Empathy automatic right now. Trying to look for a couple more kills on their end. And Aether, I think they're going to be well and intimidated. Empathy also had a really good interview coming out of that Philadelphia weekend. Talked about how it's not just impact, the top of it. That's the goal for a player like her. Wants the entire scene, and that's why you see Supernova putting the stamp on it in Thunderpick. They want a third map here, and a 12-0 is a very good reason to hope for it.
Tender gets peppered down there towards Firebox. Now a 4v3 in favor of Supernova Comets, and another wicked shot from Empathy. She seemingly cannot be stopped. 13-0 right now, and the key to victory for this Supernova Comet squad. Clipsera, last one standing, even though this started with a micro op shot onto Fox. That's the only frag Aether get, and they will fall by the wayside. 2 frags total for Aether in 5 rounds.
And, you know, John, this is a just, like, ridiculous start. I will, like, refer back to the scoreline I just talked about. It goes without saying that 35-10 scoreline, with all the circumstances that I cited, stage match, first grand final of ESL Impact, that is literally by an entire point of HLTV rating her best game.
Wow, to get it in that circumstance too. Insane.
But you know what, John? They unfortunately lost that series, and that's the way that they started off, right?
Yeah. Ended up losing, I mean, in the grand final. But anyway, Empathy is going to get that headshot again. Arius, her victim. Eventually, you have to imagine she'll fall here, but I don't know.
Oh my god.
There's a nice shot. Okay, there's something back.
Moving a little bit slower than I think I would like, Supernova Comets right now. Fox does turn that into a good find inside of the smoke, and it's going to be the B site that they circle. STX finds a pushing Clipsera, and now this is going to be all good. Unless Micro has a really flashy highlight, but it is just in to Misha, who hasn't played an official on HLTV since March until today.
Misha, what do you got? Oh, Empathy's gone. The perfect record is erased. Misha upgrades to the AK. We'll see if he can get away. I think he should be fine. That said, Supernova Comets can absolutely chase. but not necessary. They're up 6-0, very comfortable here. Aether only really getting frags on the tail end or finding an opener, no more. The mid-round has been tough for them so far here on Mirage.
I mean, look at their bank accounts, too. It's going to be serendipity, like, close to 12K. 16K, rather, excuse me. And this is just 6-0, perfect right now. And at quite a rhythm right here. I don't think I'm too concerned for Aether. At some point, they've just got to get burning, and with an op in Micro's hands, it's as good of an opportunity as ever. The end of this tack. I will just add on to the conversation about the finals. To be honest with you, John, it would have been, and as an NA fan, I was cheering for Supernova.
Oh,
but
really?
as
Okay.
the story would have gone for Impact, it was meant to go the way of Furia, in my opinion. They were the team runner-up that was, you know, chasing down Imperial. They get their success as the story writers preferred it.
Honestly, the Brazilian female scene is pretty strong as well. Like, I think Fury FE have had their really strong performances in BO3s outside of Impact. Misha, speaking of strong performance, is going to get an opener there, and Tender back to his multi-fragging ways. Micro gets the last on a no-scope onto Serendipity. That is one way to break the ice.
Yeah, no kidding. I think you literally say that perfectly. It's at a point where, you know, they're waxing in. They just had to burn bright, and now they're saying it's all cool. If they were on LAN, it would be kind of going through the motions, fist bumps across the board. This is not going to disturb experienced players like Aether. It will be good for them to get back up into the mix for that. And yeah, it's pretty cool in the Brazilian female scene. You see Olya joining up, who took her stint over in Asia with HSG. To lead MIBR FE. That'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah. Micro opener onto Empathy. Suddenly fallen silent a little bit over the last 3 rounds. Although Aether still only have that one on the board. They want to get a bunch of rounds here. They want to get that comeback that Supernova Comets had against them on Dust 2.
Putting that attention up towards Cat. Raven with her utility set. And STX on the other end of that blade. That's the bomb dropped as well. Bold calls here. Confidence for the Comets, but it doesn't seem to be waxing up to Aether anymore. They have responded. Smoke starting to fade and provides a lane for Raven, and she is just going to be dotting past this jungle player. If she stays here, this nade is going to be the end of her, but evading it for a moment.
I thought she was dead. I thought the nade was it. It doesn't go deep enough, and, well, she will be the last one standing as Fox gets cleared out towards that B site. Raven with 27 seconds left, no real chance of winning the round. She's perhaps hoping to survive, but that won't really matter anyways. Even if she dies after time, it's not the end of the world because she's already got 8,500 in her bank account. But it's probably better not to. Fades through mid. If she gets into T-spawn, she'll be safe. And it appears as though she's taking the steps to get there, and even hiding in Cubby, it's fine. Aether don't want to hunt. They know they need to build up their economy a little bit. And the AK gets carried forward with the body armor into the next round.
2 in a row for Aether.
Yeah.
And now it's another 30 seconds taken out of it. This time it's for the Comet side, and Ink will get in to address these last 2, but to address the vibes that are now turning up for Aether as well, John.
Yeah, pretty good vibes here for the Aether side. Tender, who had multiple multi-frag moments on Dust 2. Getting a big one to find their first. And now Micro, who has been pretty consistent, I would say, with the AWP, even in the losing rounds, finding some openers, is able to activate even more in that previous one. So we'll see if he can keep contributing. Arius also getting his first frag. That is good. So we'll see if Aether has what it takes to bring themselves back into this map. They need more than 2, that's for sure.
So
Supernova
quick.
Comets have got the rifles and they're going fast. Look at the damage they've taken from the util and the bullets. Clipsera gets the opener. Fox finds the trade. Serendipity spamming underneath balcony. Will get that frag along with STX. So now it's a 4v3. Aether trying to fight their way back in. Misha spots a body. Throws the incendiary forward. That'll keep them from pushing up in their direction. The nade chases one off. Arius does manage to make it even numbers, and now they're going to go for this retake. Arius looking for the follow-up, gets it. 3v2 now.
Fox and Empathy got to hold on. Two cornerstones out here for the Comets. It's Fox that rings in for a second time out from Palace, causing more distraction, but now it's all going to have to be through the rifler. If Fox wants to push through the fire, she does. A flame up for a 4K, finishes off with the Tech 9, and the Opera up for a quad herself has got a 7th on the board for the Comets.
I don't think Aether did anything wrong there. It's just Supernova Comets a lot better in fighting through that barrage of utility. Fox in particular, the nade sailing in, the incendiary. She's just charging through the fire and the flames to find all the frags, or almost all of them in the round. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And we've got a 7-2 lead for Supernova Comets. Aether's round win streak ended at 2. Micro's going to get aggressive with the up towards mid. Spots the head of a player, only the tippy top of it. That was Empathy. But he won't chase any further. Thinks better of it and falls back into connector. Raven. Will she be the victim of Micro? Will she be able to find the first frag in the round? It's neither.
Not baited out immediately by the click of the scope. It's that Molotov that is denied out from the window smoke. Out from the belt of the cat player. Not a body dropped out here in round 10 yet, but this is the same utility set that unfortunately STX failed to frag on a moment ago. It's not going much better, but Empathy now with the numbers, that's what matters the most. It's that the trade potential here onto the B site, and that's why these players are waiting in apartments. They had to get back to back for this to even be possible. Clipsera in the fire here has to run back into the smoke, and this is awkward here with the two scopes. How do they keep track of these? They think it's the same player gone back to the empty pillar, and they've just dropped a market. They are waiting for something to sprout from this lurk. It's Raven that had to just push into it. She is joining the rest of the rain here on the catwalk. With 30 seconds to go, this bomb has to go down at some point.
They can't hit their shots. They keep missing these op shots one after the other. Even with the man advantage, Aether, see that bomb planted down to dirt. Clipsera and Micro, they need support from their riflers. They need those riflers to get in here quickly. And there is one by their side that's tender, but it's going to take a little bit longer for Misha, and they have to activate before that. There's just no question. The bomb is ticking down. We're halfway mark at this point. Micro, this is another shot. There's Tender to come through with the 2K. He is the hero, along with Misha. It's all the rifles in this round, as Aether will defuse the bomb with plenty of time to spare.
Great patience there from Aether to just wait and give even A the consideration there, because it was just such a kind of awkward timing there where the tail end of that cat hit gets cut off and it's so separated. They were not so confident about the full B play, but when they were, they really stepped quick. And Aether with the third here, they could potentially find themselves up to a 7-5, and then that would really turn the tables here, and I think kind of ruin the first half dominance. You know, I don't think that really kind of falls out to kind of permanent with a 7-5, obviously.
Fox gets the opener onto Micro. Aether really would love to get that 7-5 scoreline you talked about. I think Supernova Comets have other plans. Empathy. Pushing into mid, looking over the top of that smoke. She doesn't spot anything just yet. Lots of time left on the clock for the Supernova Comets to work with, as they've already found that opening frag. And they will be deviating themselves back towards that A site, which is the site that's more heavily defended at this point.
Currently getting a fight out by Clipsera. He's busy dealing with STX. Now with 51 seconds, she's going to have to join the rest of the pack right now. There's very good attention, but as this time ticks, I mean, Only a matter of where Supernova Comets can be. Tender with a great shot. Now this Lurk has got to just kick into action, especially with Jungle being that next fight. Misha gets one. Misha gets a double, in fact. And now Tender to deal with. Tender is just going on a tear. He is in this site alone. And now with Raven in a 1v2, a clutchful moment. Has to recover onto the bomb. Has to find onto Tender. This smoke is up and it's just making it chaotic. But gets finished off from CT. Clipsera all the way back for the rotation. And what a great round between Misha and Tender. This A site denied from the Comets.
Yeah, Tender's just dancing around the bomb site in that situation to the point where she couldn't spot him. Didn't know where he had gone, and ends up surprising her at the end. It wasn't Tender, of course. It was his teammate that took care of business. And, I mean, look, Tender, only 7 frags on the board, but every single one of those frags has been impact frags. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, a couple of 2Ks, I think a 3K at the beginning. He's integral in these round victories, no question. Another opener going to be coming through here on the side of Supernova Comets. Empathy with her 17th frag on the board here. We're only in the first half of action. STX, okay, audio cue going to be given away, so Clipsera decides to toss that nade in, and it will do even more damage. Supernova Comets trying to go faster. Clipsera gets an important one, but he might get overloaded before he gets a chance to load another bullet, and he doesn't. Clipsera still alive after finding that second, and Ari is here to support now. What a play by Clipsera, anchoring down this B site. Scoped in once more, finds the third, maybe the last as well. It is the 4K for Clipsera, who does get his clip this time.
Dude, if you're an AUG user at home, you are jumping up and down. To be honest with you, John, I've just re-equipped it myself, and
yeah,
I don't know if I'm pulling it out when I'm anchoring B. Clipsera in another zip code than I am, and he's thinking straight. A great individual line that he just put out, and it's as those kind of, you know, adrenaline pumping moments that will show up for Aether, and they will continue to show up in this game and catch up to the Comets, is where we get concerned.
Honestly, with Train and Overpass both coming back into the map pool here, I feel like the AUG is going to be equipped a lot more for the CT side with all those long-range engagements. Overpass in particular, you have so many engagements where there's tons of ground to cover, and that extra little bit of zoom on the scope of the AUG can help you immensely. And right there, I do agree with you. B-side Mirage, it's a little scary with the AUG, but Clipsera makes it work.
Each their own. That AUG brought back into, I like to point to, you know, the beginning of this year and, you know, some of the better moves for NACS that we can address, right? When Nyx and 60 were brought onto Complexity. I remember the early days of Train, watching as that was brought back. It was a lot of AUGs that were popping out from a couple of these North American teams, particularly Nyx anchoring that B site down. And after every broadcast I saw an AUG, I would say that I saw Nyx using it after that. Let's be slipping NACS wherever I can. Here it's fine.
You got to. I mean, we're here, right?
Absolutely.
we're in NACS. We're knee deep.
We got to be loud
right now. Yeah. Tender.
Oh, boy.
I get one onto Raven. Fox trades it out, but this is an explosive hit from Aether, and they're just going to run right through the defenders here on the A side. Empty a chance to strike, and she does get one. So this is not with, it's not out of reach here for the Supernova Comets just yet. Empathy. Swinging around, bomb taken away. She spots ahead. Still alive. Something getting damage and gets that one onto Micro. This is some wild movement to make this feasible. She did lose her teammate, but still jumping around. What is that? What is that shot, Empathy? You've got to be kidding me. Tender will win the 1v1, but Empathy was just dancing around that A site. A headshot in midair, winning every fight so cleanly, Mark. I thought she had it.
Yeah, that was one of the most ridiculous and acrobatic attempts that I've seen here, and probably one of the flashiest plays in Thunderpick that was denied. Imagine you get that final frag down. To be honest with you, they needed it. And there have been so many other players denied of clutches here on this Comet squad. Empathy has got to really dig far into the bag. It seems like if she wants to get this done, she's going to have to do it herself far into the clutch. It's a heroic attempt, John.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the craziest pistol round play I've ever seen. I've never seen someone go that aggressively, jumping around towards the A site box to box there and finding frags so instantaneously. It was so clean.
Uh-oh.
That was not clean.
Uh-oh.
Micro. Oh well.
Passing it forward. Flash up, and now this AK is going to go ahead and do its thing. A third out here, and that's a MP5 SD in the field being used by Clipsera. The post-MP9 meta is getting us all stressed out, and it just got a double.
Alrighty. Aether are back into it. They've tied up the scoreline. Let's not forget it was 6-0. 6-0 for the Supernova Comets, and they've only gotten one round since then. A 7-1 run in favor of Aether, and they had to do it the hard way, right? It wasn't off a pistol that they got those rounds. It was during the middle of the half when the guns needed to come out. So Aether looking to take their first lead, in fact, here on Mirage.
Old middle start out here for the Comets, and this is about to be kind of even like an ancient-esque play. The A hit where the anchor's not even there. It was the full middle approach. It's going to be Comets thrown out of their own bomb site, but it is a quick rotation, and Raven even gets a lot of good damage in. A second for Empathy, but they're starting to catch up with this. It's a 3v3, and now a 1v3. Out for Micro all alone. He gets this down into the site with the bomb in his hands, and do not count this out. A clutch like this, and the lead collected for Aether in back-breaking moments for the Comets right here. Their spirits would just be tarnished if Micro would be able to convert this.
Micro's just biding his time at this point, waiting towards bench, hoping they think that he's left. Can get the jump on him. Or excuse me, get the jump on them. Micro around the corner. Timing's good. Frag is out, but not both of them. Only one. STX will save the day for the Supernova Comets.
They almost line up. Snap into action. It's a great round that they need. And this is where it's going to start coming into the paint. It's already a painful kind of scene into what likely are the frustrating scenes, but I mean, poetically, there were moments like that that were streaking across in vibrant moments for Aether, and they were able to respond to those scenes. You mentioned that it was 6-0 up to the scoreline at which you have it. Supernova Comets, they need to show their best about this Mirage on their defense.
Bit of spam for Empathy there. She's been the best player, hands down, for Supernova Comets on this map, and gets herself a 23rd frag onto Arius. Micro tosses the util 4. That's the incendiary. Empathy walks through it. Micro realizes that, trying to section her off, but he can't. And the Z push, or excuse me, connector push could be dangerous, but it ends up being neutralized by Micro, and then Clipsera catches Empathy and Fox, opening up all the space into mid.
Raven examines the extremity right now as Tender finds a great headshot. You mentioned before that Tender, at the point at which we were citing him, what, like 7 frags? He's sitting at a humble 10 frag performance here, chucking along with a great stint to his team. And to be honest with you, he isn't far from the rest of the pack. That's an insane kill, John, and one that anchors the round. Big stuff here from Aether, as it is a tied game after an illustrious start for the Comet squad. They're going to need to put up some answers rather soon.
Yeah, you didn't really want to have that round victory isolated. I think you were kind of alluding to that at the beginning of this round, and it has been. Micro and the rest of the squad just going to fade away from... Oh! Micro almost spots Serendipity, but it's Serendipity that gets the jump on him. I thought they weren't going to chase because the money's not good, but they are. They want to put the hurt on the economy of Supernova Comets even further. Tender has a freebie here. No question. If he looks the right way, it's easy. There you go. Tender finds it. Serendipity gone. And indeed, they do fully punish the economy of Supernova Comets.
It's actually an Aether timeout at this stint.
Yeah.
And the conversation is how to put this one into the next gear, John. They have a really good point about how they have just gotten right beside on the course to the Comets. And right now, they're at a point at which you just illustrated it really good. I mean, they have absolutely decimated the bank accounts right here. And at a point at which you need this conversation for, you know, Raven to save everything that she can to give Fox over an AWP into the next round. This is really going to be a frustrating turn. And at which point, this is likely Aether. If they can win these next 3 rounds, they may just win the game like that. I mean, this is a really frustrating turnaround for a Comets team that was bleeding into this Mirage just so insanely at the beginning of this thing.
Yeah, it felt like they had everything going their way. I thought we were going to see a quick Mirage, to be quite honest with you, with that 6-0 start. But the Aether, give them credit. Resilient. More than that here, as now they got the anti-eco. Micro takes care of business onto Empathy. I mean, should be pretty straightforward for Aether, you'd imagine. Supernova Comets trying to take the fight to them towards top mid, or at least pushing out aggressively into mid. Arius supporting Micro, and this will be a clean sweep. Fox does manage to connect with one, but Serendipity is left all alone towards the A site.
Will be the lead handed over again here momentarily. The Mirage that turns over to the lead one more time. Serendipity spotted and dealt with. Micro Squad is dribbling well. It may be the first to find 10 here. The Supernova Comets that dashed that up first previously chalked up on Dust 2. But here it seems to be Aether within a really good rhythm here. And now is calling Supernova Comets into action, round and round after in a row. So the CT side is going to feel a little bit less pressured with how we've just shifted up in the economy here, and hopefully get these Comets a couple more bucks.
Well, they would love to get around victory for certain. They will get the opening frag. But Misha trades out immediately. That's a fantastic trade, but that one's even better. Trying to tilt things back in Supernova Comets' favor. Here comes that rain of utility from Aether as they storm towards the A site. They've taken it effectively. Supernova Comets not in a good position to go for this retake, so they're going to have to try and aggress quickly here to gain a frag back. But oh my goodness, a touchdown from Tender, quick trade from Empathy, but it is Misha to even out the numbers once more. Second frag on the round here, Mark. Fox and Serendipity are trying to charge in quickly to regain this space.
It's Misha that's known for his lurks and his late round plays. Right here, got to make the most of it as low HP stands as the linchpin in this setup. And now with the pass, we'll get the final kill. And you know how important that is. 10 on the board for Aether first, knocking on the door of Comets map pick.
Well, I mean, full loss bonus coming through after this for Supernova Comets. So, I mean, I'd imagine what's going through their minds is, okay, we have the half buy here, and then we get a full strong buy in the next. And that's exactly what'll happen. I think they would probably want to get aggressive here or stack a site. Looks like it'll be the site stack. That's the answer for them. 4 players on A, only 1 lurking the B site. That is Empathy. Can't blame them for putting Empathy anchoring down on the B site. Well, she usually plays there. It makes sense, right?
Double of these players with these 5-7s up so close. Empathy, I'm not sure that she's actually made in contact to Clipzera. Molotov may see into that direction. With a kid on her back
nice
as
nade.
well. Had a couple more dollars. Yes, down to 50 exactly.
Raven, along with Serendipity, have given up a little bit of space, but as I say that, they're retaking it. This is the right idea with the 5-7s. You want that one-shot headshot potential up close and personal, and you got a decent crossfire setup here. It could go wrong very quickly, but I mean, when you get that lucky shot, then all of a sudden things start to pile in your direction, and you may get a lucky, I shouldn't say lucky, you get a surprising 9th round victory.
Aether going to be forced here into the stack because I don't think they found out exactly what was laying out about that on the B site. They are going to run into potentially a brick wall here with these 5.7s. It's a lot to do, though, for Serendipity, who's being tracked, and STX has a good kill. These Deagles are going to have to be so potent right now as they are still concerned of something that lies ahead. STX has another body onto the pile here, and they don't know about the second player in CT. Empathy still an unknown factor here, and it is just so automatic. Turn is going to be put on fully. It's 11, and now this route is fully going to be showing for Aether. They just avoided disaster fully, but even with the guns coming up, JRT, that may have been one of Supernova Comets' last best opportunities on this Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, it was just on the eco, but still, I agree with you. They had a couple of beautiful shots coming through from STX's Deagle, and then after that, they fall a little bit flat, trying to fight forward and deny the space and the plant towards the A site. It's unfortunate. The opportunity was there, and what a shot from Micro onto Serendipity. Opens up some more space into the B site. There is still one player left there. That's Fox with the AWP, but another great flash from Micro for Clipsera, who manages to collect a scalp. That is just such good play from Aether in the opening 30 seconds of the round. It's crushing for Supernova Comets, Mark, though, when you think about the way this one started, the way the previous map went. They're having trouble closing.
Yeah, I really agree. It's not one that's going to be kind of light to it. I hope that's not like clouding their judgment right now, right? I know that is a realistic scenario, and it's not just something that us pundits put out that's like haunting them, but you can really feel it. And you're tracking along. The game isn't over yet, so fight that feeling while you still can. It's going to be a called save. I mean, a little disappointing, but like, this is a reasonable call. Very reasonable, keeping all the guns up. But again, it's more of swallowing a really hard pill on our side, right? For literally exactly what we were just talking about here. That is turning key on 12 rounds here for Aether, and likely the 2-0 this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think Aether are going to chase, though. I appreciate the call from Supernova Comets. It's not easy to make this decision when you're down 11-8 and giving up a 12th round, but looking at their economy and the money they have, yes, full loss bonus is coming through, but you don't have any frags, so you don't get that frag bonus, and now you will. Extra $50 can go a little ways, and there's an extra 100, and the extra 150. There you have it. All right. That will help their buy. A little bit of extra util will be available to them. 8th rounds on the board, though. They need 4 in a row now, Mark. Off of those saved rifles. Get an AK upgrade. Yeah, it's just, I'm not sure I feel it. I'm not sure I feel it. Even with the buy-up coming through here, Aether have really taken control of everything. They feel sharper.
They do. Micro just had that great opening kill in the last. Couldn't find anything on A there. Supernova Comets still can push another overtime. But right now, it feels like the energy is sort of out of this series. And you're kind of seeing into a disappointing look after kind of how you're seeing this result to go. Could be worse. Could have not seen any success at all out of the Comets, right? You're calling it I'm kind of calling it as if it's already over, but that's how we're feeling these last couple. They've gotten to this point, likely to send it further. They have 2 more frags at the top of con here, and Fox from CT in the 2 versus 4. Aether are going to have to do a whole hell of a lot if they want to finish it in 21.
Supernova Comets should have this. It was a 5v2, and now will be a 3v1. Good shot from Micro.
No.
Oh no, not like this. Not like this. Micro misses the shot, but he's still alive, and finally fragged out. Serendipity will ensure the 5v2 doesn't slip through Supernova Comets' fingers. 3 rounds still required from them in a row to get overtime. And there will be a buy-up absolutely coming through for Aether. They've got plenty of cash available to them. See if the Supernova Comets can rebuff them one more time. Just got to take it one round after the other here for Supernova Comets. Don't think about the next one, just the one right in front of you.
Kill shot loaded up here for Aether. A B site that is going to be just defended loosely. Because their star player, Lucy, is far away. She rotates in and Empathy right back towards the catwalk. Unfortunately, she's the first name out of the kill feed. Two great entries here for Aether as they are going to dig their heels into this B site and try and hold on to a 2-0. Micro gets that badge down onto the opposing IGL, who has done their best today and really put up a great performance in this. But a classic Comet story that, to be honest with you, we kind of pull up to present today. A really talented performance at these levels, but at a certain point, we're pushed out of the end game. And here, they're going to be going into the losers part of the Group B to the 0-1 place, where they are going to be seeing up against the Lycus Empire in 2 days' time.
I also have to say, in that round, that was a brilliant lurk from Micro, right? He's waiting around mid for the rotations to come through. And even though there was that little glimmer of hope for Supernova Comets still, if their cat player is able to activate, they can't because of that shutdown from Micro. And then things just melt away from them as their last two players are found out and taken care of. So, yeah, I agree with you, though. It's tough for the Supernova Comets because we've seen so many close maps, so many opportunities where they're up in the map, up in the series sometimes, but then they just can't get things together. And I think a lot of it's psychological right now, Mark. I honestly don't think it's in terms of performance. I think they've got the skill to defeat teams like at the level of Aether, at the tier 2, tier 3 level of Counter-Strike, and they're just not able to do it. Yeah, it's just psychological.
To be honest with you, like, especially where you kind of like stand back and like look at that Mirage full canvas, it's like that was a full roller coaster, John. I mean, especially where they were boarding it like from that dust too, it was ridiculous with the start that they got off onto, with literally 6 rounds later how the half ended, and then literally with the pistol that, you know, was stolen out of their hands by Aether. I mean, it must have been a crazy batch of emotions so quickly. But I mean, the last 9 months, the last year for these girls has been crazy for them. So like I said in the pregame, if we were going to address this problem again, right, I think that this is a team that, you know, still has the mental fortitude as a lineup of 5 to tackle a problem like this.
Absolutely.
And so, because you did have great scenes like that, but I mean, think about some of the 1vx's that, I mean, you know, a lot of the experience of that, the couple of the Aether players show out. We got insane looks from Tender at times, who isn't going to be at the top of the scoreboard today, but put in for some MVP moments for sure.
Yeah, and Micro had some good moments. So the whole team, like I would say, had good moments individually at certain points. And you're right, it was the clutch efforts that were the difference makers a lot of the times. And Supernova Comets just need more reps, and they will get that. You know, they're coming because they've got this Thunderpick group stage, of course, that they're going to play, and they've got ECL as well that they've qualified for. That's going to be phenomenal for them. I think that's when they can really grow and become the team we kind of see materializing before our eyes, where these close matchups, these close maps that are slipping away from them on the tail end will start becoming wins. And that's when Supernova Comets will be continually a threat for advanced and maybe even ECL level teams.
100%. I mean, you got to put that into the pavement in another 2 days. Like we said, they're going to be up against Lycus in a quick turnaround, as tomorrow we're going to be seeing into the winners. And I do have to shout out one of those winners that comes back after 4 months time. Quick math. It was last time in March that we got to see Misha out there, sort of towards the beginning. That's why I'm kind of putting it on 4, like all the way out there. So really great work to see him back into the server, putting up some big plays. A guy that I mentioned has a whole lot of experience. So it's not going to be out of the same realm of the conversations of Tender and Micro stepping back in to literally replace Misha and Talent that we talked about briefly. As you know, it was this Headshot Kings roster that, I mean, turned into a batch of names. This has been a commonality on the stream today, exploring some of the lore of a lot of these projects, but you're going to be seeing them again real soon, literally tomorrow, John, as Aether goes up to the winners.
Yeah, no, I think Aether acquitted themselves very well here. It was a match that featured some frustrations for them. We saw them on Dust 2 looking a little tilted. They called a timeout and it seemed like it collected them enough because they absolutely, got into overtime and pulled off the map victory. And then on to Mirage, it was another struggle at the beginning, down 6-0, and then they struck back similar to the way Supernova Comets did on Dust 2, but as opposed to falling short at the end at the finish line, Aether just pull it all the way across. They never stopped. Like they were full on set for that win once that second half started.
And I'll bring another kind of line of comparison right back to Chicken Coop. I think this was like a group in which you're really seeing Supernova, or rather the Super Evil gang, really struggle in ESL Challenger League. Like a group of players that have been really grinding through advanced and, those relegation stages to like get to that point. But when they got there, I mean, they really struggled. And to see them, survive that point, continue to grind and, get these changes back. And, as we were talking about it, I mean, you were seeing this group and wondering where, you had a player literally brought from Maine that was brought to IGL, this group that would still be here. And Flo was doing great, right? But there was a lack of experience, as we mentioned. And I mean, dude, Micro has been doing a whole lot in North America, worn so many jerseys here. But to be honest with you, this is probably as legitimate of a team that he's been on the last 6 months. Really, like, was with Vendetta and a couple of those other squads to get going. Like, I think they're really going to be loving the vibe of this group, even without Juna, unfortunately. I think Juna and Jeebs that watch back and see these results today are going to be quite happy.
No question. I'm actually really curious to see the Chicken Coop Aether matchup. I think that one's going to be really,
100%.
really good. It'll be a test for both teams, right? To see where they're at. It's a benchmark match.
That's going to be quite a press. I'm really excited for these winners games that we have out here, because I believe the other one is going to be Marsborn and Lag. So that's going
right.
to be
yes, I like that one too.
BO3s tomorrow, John.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I know we're going to lose you. I know I'm going to be bringing Vincent onto the broadcast, and we're going to be seeing you in a couple more days for the group. So I know you've enjoyed hopping on for these first couple, but we'll give you some rest as we do as well on the broadcast end. From production, from John and I, thank you so much for watching out here, as this is our second day of Thunderpick added to a close. So like I said, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the winners of groups A and B.
All right, let's jump into it. This is feels like a must win for Selva, like we already discussed here on map 1 of Train. See if they can get it. Opening frag goes to Urbano. And now they're trying to storm in towards this A site. SHC is under a lot of pressure. Jota smoked off as well, and SHC can't get anything. Neither can Barton. That is a great take of the A site, but they still have to hang on to it. Urbano gets a response. Now down to a 3v3 post plant.
Stuck out with the dualies here, but it's a double up right now. They're rushing on through. Their teammates are low here. It's just Levi with health at the moment. That's going to be a challenge, but another kill coming out of the duel. Beretta's here, finding all of the frags right now between the two dualies, and Bomb now being stuck. Will they be able to have the coverage here? One bullet away from death for a couple of these players, but it's still being stuck right now. Levi pushing the issue, but it might have done enough to offer up the protection as the defuse comes through. Destiny losing out on the round here, hunting down the final kill.
No, we're good. DSG.
Okay.
DSG threw the body. Did a good job there.
Yes,
we're getting crossed
right.
up, but yeah, DSG did a great job of throwing the bodies in the direction of Selva and defending that bomb diffuser, and that's all they really needed. The health wasn't great, but it didn't matter because of the way they played it. Urbano going to get the opener over on Slash.
Turn this way. There's just no utility left for this T side. They're going to have to rely on this pure firepower. Maybe the patience paying off here. It's just a low HP Urbano, but he's scaring them away from moving out. GBB taking down low. Destiny has been able to slide out deep into the sight lines, though, so he's covering off all this space as the whole side of DST is rotated over. Another kill to Destiny. No resistance yet to be found.
Oh,
but a
no.
line up there from Levi, and he finds them all. A bit unfortunate right there. Selva walk right into the line of Levy. And now it's going to be Destiny here in a clutch. It is doable, though. 1v2. Players looking to join forces now together. These footsteps might be heard from Destiny as well. It looks like he's reacting accordingly.
Yeah, Destiny does hear the footsteps, has to win the fights, and cannot, despite getting the headshot onto Barton. It's not enough for the frag. Gonna get the frag, and that's Slash gone. Barton gets the follow-up, and things still not trending well for Selb. That nade's going to do even more damage. No! GBB actually dodges most of the damage, and then doesn't dodge that. Levy is going to get that headshot onto GBB, and now Destiny's managed to creep his way towards the site, but I think Barton's aware of this. It looks like he's cycling. Yes, he was, but he still gets headshotted. That'll lead to a bomb plant, but it's a 4v. Oh, it was a 4v2, now turned into a 3v1, and Destiny's still standing here, trying to clutch it out.
He's looking for another isolated duel right now. Last time he was in this position, they joined forces. This time they're separated. A chance to isolate is available, but he's completely stationary right now. Holding the flanker. Bono's going to walk right into this trap here. Instant headshot. Destiny has a chance now. And SHZ slow on the motion on the retake. Is he going to be prepared for this? A swing goes in. There's another clutch. Just barely missed out on. It is a 10-second defuse.
No,
But he's committed. Oh, no, it is 5 seconds. I got confused by the bomb timer coming up there. Oh, boy.
Destiny's trying to gain that space again, but he's got to wait for the smoke to fade, and in the end, will fall off of T-Con. So they're giving up the T-Con space to DSG, at least for the moment. We'll see if they decide to retake it. Another smoke sails in. Oh, Urbano gets the opener on Destiny, as he does indeed try to retake that space. Where Jota is too! He's running into both of them, gets both headshots, tries for a third as well, but he's got the information. Urbano and him should be set up well. Urbano down, but Jota is doing it all here. 3K on the round, only Slash left in a 4v1, and there it is. The round goes DSG's way, and after all of those close rounds in a row...
They got to push through Ivy right now, so they're gathering all the information. That's the big kicker on how they're rotating right now so effectively, and they're just going to beat him to the punch here, especially with that flashbang slightly delaying their press through the lower side here. Another flashbang coming through. It is well placed, but a trade is available, and jumping up into Nithon's op. A bit of a fifth movement right there. Jota's low on HP from the very get-go. How far they take this one. Great flashbang. Just forces Chota to pull the trigger, and that is instantly punished right there. So SHZ, you'd imagine on the save formation here pretty soon. Looking to play some exits.
Along with Levy, are waiting patiently, and oh man, Levy, the timing actually backs off the angle, but Barton should have one for free here. He does. GBB's gone. Won't force the issue, which is intelligent. Don't want to get too far up, and then Levy hits the shot onto Destiny. 4v2 in favor of DSG. Looks like another round is going to go their way. Barton completely overlooked by Slash. And this round's done.
Just way too much resistance on that B side. You know, you get that push going through solo from the side of Barton right there, and he completely catches one off guard. Jota's there. You trade him out. And yeah, it's not necessarily the same player that pushed up, but it is just so frustrating right there to meet that amount of resistance on the B side. That's a good exit from Nithon. Seconds left here. They are kind of boxing him in somewhat, but I think he should find some safety in T-Con.
But you do have resistance here in the form of SHZ and Barton. SHZ watching and waiting. There's that Molotov that'll force him out of position, but Barton's still there. A little isolated now, but still managed to get one and the second, the third too. That is completely insane from Barton. Nithon gets only one. 4v2 in favor of DSG, but what a play from Barton.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be able to trade him out, right? That's what it has to be. 3 players challenge him, everyone falls. That's the sort of anchoring right there. Why Barton can be so trusted when he's in the danger zone here. Destiny trying to pull him out of this hole, but not going to happen on the lurk. Nithon, another 30-second save for him.
It's good that Nithon's getting away with it, but the problem is they need to find these rounds. I feel like a broken record, but it's true. Barton, another important frag, but one player gets past him, so you don't expect a fight to come through. Before that, he still gets Tomate. They have to time that better on the Selva side and wait for the flank to come through. Instead, it's a man disadvantage when it should be a 4v4 as this bomb gets planted.
Yeah, this is huge from Slash, though. I mean, he's entrenched right now in this retake effort. I mean, getting past the first phase on this retake is going to be an immense challenge here, but that's going to help it out as now they seem aware of this deep positioning. Levi gonna get pulled on here eventually. Slash is still in the danger zone. A couple of different flanks coming through and he gets bested. Ninth on left, last man standing, 1v3. Doesn't bait out the first shot, but eventually that flank comes through from Jota. They're so patient on this retake here. And it's gonna be close. Just about enough time as he captures that defuse, but another successful round right there.
The full loss bonus is helping them get buy-ups along with the bomb plants, but hasn't really yielded much. Incendiary, I should say Molotov, flies in. Levy lost the player and hits the shot despite being under pressure from the pre-firing. And then Barton strikes as well. They play it more aggressively, Cole, and it works like a charm. 5v2 just like that.
Much better gun for that angle exactly, and 2 picks off the back of it. Barton even finding it. Last ditch effort, walking out. Well, that's opens up the door here. Quick transition from Urbano, and that door shuts quickly right in their fingers.
And his teammate that was supporting there on that B site to combine for 3 frags, and there you go. I mean, they made Selva think that Upper Tons was clear, and it was not. Barton gonna get the opening 2 again here. GBB trades him out. But, I mean, the work that Barton has done as the anchor here has been phenomenal. That being said, is it still a chance here for Selva? More than that, they've turned it into a 3v2.
Wow. This was a bit of a less likely round there, but GBB shows a little bit too much skin. He gets caught by the AWP. Making it out of this position, though, challenging. Smoke still